Alright, hey, what's going on? It's Marley here, and welcome to what we're going to call this, like, our thoughts and feelings about Bloodborne after playing it at EGX Rezzed without gameplay because they won't let me film it.
Yeah,
they were
they
very
didn't let
like,
us
no,
film it.
no film.
Which is strange since it comes out in like what?
Like a day, like literally like a week.
Yeah, like a week, but they didn't let us film
No,
it. But
I'm just going to
well.
steal footage off the internet and put it here.
Yeah,
and that'll be
seems
fine.
reasonable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to. I'm a huge Souls fan, right? Like
Massive
new
fucking
game
nerd.
plus 9 Dark Souls 1 type, like ridiculously
1M.
hardcore, like a bit sad to be honest. And
The amount of hours I have from Rogue Legacy, I can't criticize anything.
the amount of hours we both have on Dota 2, it's impossible to criticize. But,
That's a really good point.
But yeah, Bloodborne kind of spices up the formula a bit, I guess. Like you can't dodge roll when you're locked onto enemies now. You can't do big power attacks, but you can like change your weapon mid swing, so it becomes like a slightly different feeling weapon, and like combo attacks like by switching the weapon back and forth, which I thought was pretty cool. But I think the elements that they've taken out of the Souls formula, like dodge rolling while locked on and like blocking, like none of the classes could block. Also, I could tell, or parry, which felt kind of strange.
I mean, I know fuck all about Souls games,
Yeah.
and probably won't play them for quite some time still because I'm lazy, and they're scary. But I remember hearing about Bloodborne when people were talking about it, they were like, yeah, they've like changed the system from big slow stuff and like blocking in Dark Souls to like you have to be the aggressor.
Yeah, it felt like they were trying to make it faster paced, but
Yeah.
for me, taking out
takes away from the
blocking, it made me play even more carefully.
Mm.
And it made me not want to
more
go-
nervous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it made me not want to like
Yeah.
go in and like all fast
But then maybe
paced.
that's the learning curve. You know, maybe as you learn the enemies and you learn, you know, obviously as you learn the game like you do with Dark Souls, you get more confident with just smacking people up.
Yeah, perhaps. It did have very, very nice cloth physics.
It did-
We
mate.
need to talk about the cloth physics.
I think the only thing that I can really take from watching you play that game is just how fantastic the cloths physics.
Yeah, there were so many cloths, and they were so
cloths.
covered in beautiful, glistening, watery
man.
goodness.
There was a man
and-
in like a feathery thing.
Yeah,
Literally just feathers.
all the feathers
Just
were,
feathers
were
everywhere.
feathery
I was
feathers.
just like, man, these cloth physics.
It had very nice
like,
cloth physics. And
it
it
was
was
like-
a great art direction in general.
It was essentially like the order level of cloth physics.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like
Although
there was some
it's
fucking
still
great cloths.
like the movement still felt identical to Dark Souls.
Well,
like, it felt exactly
when I
the
watched
same.
it looked like Dark Souls.
Yeah.
I don't like
It played like Dark Souls except for like the changes.
steampunk Dark Souls.
More or less. I mean, the art direction was great,
Yeah.
but I think the art direction is almost so strong that I'm scared that they can't vary it up as much as they could in like Dark Souls.
I see what you mean. Yeah, because it was so intensely focused. Like
Yeah.
the world they designed, that sort of what's the Victorian style kind of like
It's kind of
old-
like
it reminds me of the Order because it's old Londony sort of looking
Yeah,
places, like
it's
old city type deals.
ultra gothic,
Yeah,
steampunk
ultra Gothic,
Victorian
yes.
type deal.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
That's a long description. But it was so well done for that. Like it did that perfectly. But
Yes.
then is that the whole game? Because I know from what I know from Dark Souls, you go to all these different
Oh,
crazy
yeah,
worlds.
you really
and
do.
and it's so seamless the way you slip through everything, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a picture. In fact, I'm gonna put a picture up now if I'm not shit at editing, which I found, which was really really cool. Which was like.
I think the mood in general in Bloodborne was just even more kind of grim and hopeless than it was in Dark Souls, which is a really cool thing because
Yeah,
Dark
yeah,
Souls
yeah,
felt
definitely.
pretty grim and hopeless. But at the same time, I don't know. I mean, we'll see when the full game comes out. But from the demo I played, the gameplay changes made it feel, I guess, a bit less in depth. Like,
Yeah.
yes, you can get more combos off with the whole weapon switching stuff, but then the lack of block and parry, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be in, but none of the characters had it, or so I
Yeah,
could
yeah.
tell.
Yeah, because there was like 4 you could choose from, right?
Yeah, and I looked through all of them, and none of them could like block or anything. But I think the focus on faster paced kind of stuff might take away from like
Did
the
one of the
diversity
characters
of
have a
builds.
pistol?
Yeah, well, the character I was playing had a blunderbuss.
Yeah.
in his
Oh
left
shit.
hand,
Yeah, it was like a blunderbuss and a
which
and a
did
stabby.
barely any damage
sword.
unless you're right next to them, so you may as
Yeah.
well use a sword anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I'm not one to sort of talk about it because I don't know much about it. It
Yeah.
looked cool, but until like I think there's gonna be a point in time where I flip and play a Dark Souls
Yeah.
game, like I did with The Witcher. I was just like, right, fuck it, I'm gonna play it, and I'll do that with Dark Souls. And by that point, I'll probably be like, oh my god, this game's fucking amazing. I
Oh,
love
yeah,
it. Blah, blah,
you
blah,
will,
blah.
you will.
It's brilliant.
But almost like
But
Gurren
I won't
Lagann.
touch that game until then.
Almost like Gurren Lagann, Dark Souls has this like turning point
yeah.
where you suddenly realize, holy shit, this is genius.
It's not shit. It's amazing.
But until then, it's kind of like, yeah, it's alright, and then
Yeah.
you get to the turning point. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, I love things like that. I think like it's really cool to have something that's like, you know, it creates that like elitism about it. You know, it's like, yeah, you didn't fucking get it.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wrecked. But yeah, it was alright.
Yeah, it didn't leave me very impressed, to be
Nah.
honest. I was like, yeah, it's another Souls game with some changes.
The most fun I had doing that was just sort of watching your face as we played. Like we filmed your face, which you're gonna see right now as we played it, and just commentating over what I saw. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Bloodborne looks alright. Here's a video of George's face.
So it's you seem to lose health. Kind of. I'll talk about the details later because you need to concentrate for this. You really do.
Alright, so we're technically not allowed to film the screen, but I can film George playing, and he can tell you exactly what's happening, right? And that's definitely a not against the rules here, okay? So here goes.
Right. So this looks beautiful. Plays almost identically to Dark Souls with some difference. Wow. It's pretty good.
And it plays just like the Souls, right?
Yeah, pretty much. There's some differences. You can like transform your weapons mid-attack, which is really cool. Oh god, I really need to concentrate right now. This is.
I could like commentate on his facial expressions and just not on what's happening in the game. I don't know, like if there's anything you need to know about Bloodborne, I think this is probably like the most important factor of the whole game. It's that the cloth physics are beautiful. Like nobody really cares about the gameplay or the mechanics, anything really. But cloth physics are fucking phenomenal.
They are beautiful cloth physics, I have to say. Especially like the feathers, just all the physics.
You can essentially become Birdman.
You can. It's very shiny as well. There's a lot of shine going on. Right. This is going to be a big fight. Oh, I did not mean to do that.